Have you ever wondered why some of the most extraordinary people seem to walk the loneliest roads? Why do the chosen ones, the ones filled with purpose, the ones with a fire burning in their souls, so often face rejection, isolation, or even poverty? Here's the truth they don't tell you. Being chosen isn't a blessing wrapped in gold. It's a calling forged in fire. And that fire, it burns away everything that doesn't align with your destiny. Let me tell you something that might shock you. When God calls you, He often clears your path by stripping away everything you think you need. Friends, comfort, money, gone. And here's the hard pill to swallow. It's not punishment. It's preparation. Think about it. How can you lead people to a higher plane if you're too attached to what's holding you back? In the Bible, Joseph was chosen to save his family and an entire nation. But before he could step into that destiny, he was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and thrown into prison. Let that sink in. A man with dreams of greatness spent years of his life in chains. Does that sound like the life of someone favored by God? To many, Joseph looked like a failure. But in reality, every betrayal, every false accusation, and every lonely night in that prison was sharpening him, strengthening him, and preparing him for the moment he would rise to second in command in Egypt. Now let's bring this closer to home. Maybe you're like Joseph right now. You've got a dream that lights up your soul, but your bank account is empty. Friends you thought you could count on are nowhere to be found. You're sitting there, wondering if God forgot about you. But what if this is your prison season? What if the isolation and struggle are not signs of failure, but proof that you're being refined for something greater? Let me tell you about a man named Mark. Mark was one of the most brilliant musicians in his city, and he had the talent to move mountains. But while his peers were signing deals and living flashy lives, Mark was barely scraping by. No gigs, no recognition, just endless hours spent writing music in his small, one-room apartment. People mocked him, saying, "If you're so talented, why are you still broke?" But Mark kept going, pouring his heart into his work. One day, a producer stumbled upon his music and offered him a deal that skyrocketed his career. When asked how he managed to hold on during those hard years, Mark said something powerful. "It was in my loneliness that I found my sound. If I had the money and the noise, I would have lost my gift." You see, the chosen ones are not called to blend in. They're called to stand out. And standing out often means standing alone. It's in the silence that God speaks. It's in the struggle that you discover your strength. King David was anointed to be king as a teenager, but he spent years running for his life from King Saul. Imagine that, a future king hiding in caves, fearing for his life. Yet, in those caves, David wrote some of the most beautiful psalms, songs that still inspire millions today. His hardship became his platform. So, what does this mean for you? Maybe you're broke because God wants to show you how to build something from nothing. Maybe you're alone because He's cutting off relationships that would have sabotaged your destiny. Remember, the right people and resources will find you, but only after you've been prepared to handle them. Let's get real for a moment. In today's world, success is often measured by how much money you make or how many people are in your corner. But chosen ones operate on a different frequency. Your wealth isn't in your wallet. It's in your vision. Your value isn't in how many friends you have. It's in the purpose that sets your heart on fire. Think about the story of Job. He was one of the richest men of his time, but he lost everything: his wealth, his children, his health. People told him to curse God and give up, but Job held on. And in the end, He was restored beyond his wildest dreams. His faith through suffering wasn't just about him. It became a testimony for generations. What if your struggles are setting you up for a breakthrough that will inspire others? If this message is stirring something in you, if you feel the fire of your purpose burning a little brighter right now, we invite you to subscribe, because this channel is all about fueling that fire, giving you the tools, stories, and insights to rise above the noise and step into your calling. Stick with us, and together, we'll uncover the treasures hidden in your struggles. Here's something most people miss about Joseph's story. During his years in prison, he didn't just sit there waiting. He used his gifts, interpreting dreams, to serve others, even in the darkest place. His faithfulness in the small things prepared him for the big moment when Pharaoh called him to interpret a dream that would change his life. And here's another gem. Did you know that even Jesus faced loneliness? Before starting his ministry, he spent 40 days in the wilderness, alone and tempted by the devil. But it was in that solitude that he gained the clarity and strength to fulfill his purpose. If the Son of God needed time alone to prepare, what makes us think we don't? So, why are chosen ones often alone or broke? Because greatness isn't built in comfort. It's forged in fire. Isolation isn't punishment. It's preparation. And lack isn't failure. It's the foundation for abundance. You're not being left behind. You're being set apart. Your struggle today is your testimony tomorrow. Keep going, keep trusting, and keep believing. The world may not see your value yet, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Your story is still unfolding, and I promise you, it's going to be worth it. If this video spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Let's spread hope, purpose, and resilience to as many people as we can. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more life-changing content. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. You're chosen, and that makes all the difference.